The 80s saw a series of lawsuits brought against the Church of Scientology. Ex-members united, claiming they had been lied to and bilked out of millions of dollars. In 1985, an ex-Scientologist was awarded $39 million after she claimed the church had falsely promised to improve her eyesight. Thousands of Scientologists converged on Portland to protest the verdict.
I just don't see why something that has such a good intention is being so persecuted. I mean, in my 10 years, I've never had to come out to this degree.
Church members were fervent.
I'm going to call my boss Monday morning and tell him that my religion is being attacked.
Scientology works, and we want everybody on the planet to know that.
The verdict was eventually overturned.
That was a big changing point in our group, and Portland was pivotal.
The case raised questions about the prices the church charges for its courses.
There are people who spent millions of dollars who didn't have millions of dollars. There are people who left Scientology 10 years ago who are still paying back the money they borrowed to do it.
There is a range of services that the church offers and provides which go from free to costing some money, depending on how one is stationed and what one wishes to do. The books are charged for more or less normal rate that books are charged for. For the courses and auditing services, donations are requested. I don't have a problem with that. They need to survive. Everybody needs to survive. Plus, you put a value on something, that's just never been an issue for me.
If people didn't want it, if it wasn't helping them lead better lives, they wouldn't pay for it.
Scientology was proving persistent in its battles. In the 80s, the church continued its fight with the IRS.
We co-founded the National Coalition of IRS Whistleblowers, and this gave a forum to these former IRS agents and also people who worked in other areas of government who knew about IRS crimes or dirty tricks.
And throughout all of this, not a word from L. Ron Hubbard. In fact, in 1982, Hubbard's estranged son claimed his father was dead.
When's the last time you saw him?
September 1959. Everybody else haven't seen him since March 1980.
There's got to be more to it than that. You're taking this to court. What?
Well, I think we have enough evidence to show that he is probably dead, but of course we don't have his body.
The church moved fast to defuse the rumor.
The Church of Scientology today produced what it called evidence to quell rumors that its founder, L. Ron Hubbard, is dead.
I have here my own personal copy with the 2 colored spots of ink and with Mr. Hubbard's personal fingerprint over the ink, scientifically proving that Mr. Hubbard had to be signing this document and putting together after February 2nd, 1983.
Church officials also produced greetings from Hubbard.
With inexorable promptitude, 1983 is upon us.
Is that Ron Hubbard?
You bet your life.
The church said Hubbard was not hiding nor dodging subpoenas, but writing and directing internal technical films.
There would be 6 messengers on duty when he was filming. One would hold his chair, one would hold the packet of cigarettes, and as soon as she saw that the cigarette he had was going out, would have to light another and give it to him. One held the ashtray, one held his pen, and so on. There were 6 of them round him. One of them was put on the humiliating rehabilitation project force, where she probably served for several months because she didn't get a chair there fast enough.
Conflicting reports began to emerge about how Hubbard was spending his final years.
He suddenly found himself with a little spare time on his hand, so he turned to the world of fiction. What came out of that was Battlefield Earth and the 10-volume Mission Earth series.
The last time I saw him, he was shaking, virtually uncontrollable. He was kind of dithering around trying to explain something about the sunlight.
On January 27th, 1986, the news broke. L. Ron Hubbard was dead. The announcement provoked wild media speculation.
The people who were more or less having difficulty with Scientology were trying to prove that he was dead when he was alive. When he died, they were trying to prove he was alive. So, you know, this is the media.
Some cried that with Hubbard unable to cancel policies and make new proclamations, Scientology would be unable to change with the times.
According to Scientology's definitions, Scripture is what was written and spoken by L. Ron Hubbard.
It can't change. Scientology's policies and practices are written in stone.
We will not allow it to become aberrated. We will not change it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
To Scientologists who believe in reincarnation, the news was hopeful.
The last thing that was really wanted was for Hubbard to be sort of dead, like a mortal man. So something had to be dreamed up. And so what was dreamed up was that he had moved on to a new level of research.
Despite the ridicule by outsiders, Scientologists were certain Hubbard had merely discarded his body to move on to the next level of research. Hubbard had achieved his goal, to operate at a state outside the body.
A being is a being. He is a spirit, and he actually can exist independent of his body. This is one of the more interesting discoveries in Scientology.
The charismatic leader of the Church of Scientology had passed on. Could Scientology outlive its founder?